not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
The only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
On my honor, I promise to do my duty.
I have a dream.
Throughout time, individuals have achieved great things for themselves and for others.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
It's not because these people were better than everyone else, or even smarter. They had a vision. They had a picture of how they saw themselves in the future. And then they took the steps to see their visions through. No two visions look or sound alike.
I want to be an astronaut. I want to fly in space.
I wanted to teach.
Definitely want to try to win the Indianapolis 500.
A vision is a big thought, an idea. It's what future success looks like. You fulfill the vision by first developing goals, and then a plan of action. Visions can be personal or impact the whole world. But one thing's for sure. If you see it, you can do it. All it takes is a dream and persistence. Steve Fawcett, a distinguished Eagle Scout and one of America's greatest living adventurers.
I actually sat down and thought about what would be the most interesting things that I might do. And one of them was to fly a balloon around the world.
But having a vision wasn't enough to make it real. He had to set small, realistic goals and have a plan to get where he wanted to go.
We had to develop the equipment. We had to figure out more about how the weather worked. There wasn't very much known about how much fuel these balloons would burn. And for the first 3 attempts, in retrospect, we now know that I wasn't carrying enough fuel to make it all the way around the world. It was a big learning process.
Most importantly, he refused to give up.
I made a total of 6 attempts to fly around the world before I finally succeeded.
It took 5 years of trying, of adjusting, of sheer determination, but he made his vision real.
I suppose I'm a very ambitious person, and that started early. Started in Boy Scouts and working through the process, becoming an Eagle Scout. It's very gratifying to reach one of these goals.
Wendy Lawrence is an astronaut in the NASA shuttle program. A Naval Academy graduate, she's flown 2 missions and is in line for a 3rd.
And I can still remember very clearly back in the summer of 1969 having my mother come grab me and say, "Sit down in front of our black and white television and watch this. This is a very historical event." And of course it was Neil Armstrong taking those very first steps on the moon. And I can still remember saying to myself, that's what I want to do when I grow up. I looked at what the astronauts had done, and many of them had gone to one of the military academies and had become aviators. So I thought, well, I'll take that path first to see if that works. And so I decided that I wanted to go to the Naval Academy and become a pilot. So of course that meant first and foremost I had to finish high school and I had to get good grades. So I finished high school, got to the Naval Academy. I think the Naval Academy taught me more than anything was how to take care of myself, to stay motivated, to keep focused on my goal. I was able to graduate high enough in the class to get an aviation slot, and I flew helicopters for several years. And since I was a helicopter pilot, I knew that I was not going to be eligible in the eyes of NASA to be what's called an astronaut pilot. I knew I would have to become an mission specialist, and for a mission specialist, there's more emphasis on education. So I knew probably at some point needed to go back to college and get a master's degree, and I was selected by NASA in March of 1992. There are many, many ups and downs along the way to becoming an astronaut, and when I finally got to space and I got to look out the window from the very, very first time from the shuttle flight deck, look down on our very beautiful planet, I realized that it had taken me 25 years for my dream to come true. And it's hard to capture in words, but just with that one view, looking down on the planet, I realized at that moment that all those ups and downs and all the fits and starts and falling on my face at times, it had all been worth it.
A.J. Foyt IV is the grandson of a legendary 4-time Indy 500 winner, but he's definitely his own man.
I started out, my Uncle Jerry asked me to drive a junior dragster for him when I was 9. And so I just did it just for fun. I started racing go-karts after that, and I did that from like I was 10 till 16. Had to give up a few things in high school just to give my dedication to go-kart racing. moved up to the Infinity Pro Series last year and won the championship in that. So now I'm up to the very top I can, and it's real tough, but I'm just gonna give it all I have.
AJ's had his share of ups and downs in his brief racing career.
Sometimes when you feel down and out, if you had a bad race or anything like that, you just got to keep on looking to what is, like I said, what is yet to come, and just keep on working harder.
And just as important, he's got to be true to himself and his values.
But you just got to put your full effort into it, and if you work at it day by day, and just you're gonna have to go through some stuff on the downside, but then you'll have your good days and bad days. So you just got to keep on working harder and harder, and the harder you work, the better you'll be at it, and just keep on striving toward your goal, and hopefully one day you'll get there.
That's the quality that makes him a winner. Personal visions can be shared. Even a group vision, which we will talk about later, begins with one person's dream. In 1961, John F. Kennedy, then President of the United States, spoke to the nation about his vision.
We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard.
Anyone can have a vision. But fulfilling a vision, whether it's personal or one that impacts the world, takes goals, a plan, and the willingness to adjust the plan and try again until you see it through. We all have it in us. Think of it as an internal compass that keeps us heading in the right direction. Due north is the Scout oath and law. You can create the kind of future you want if you keep the values of your vision heading north. What's your vision?